I thought it'd start just because it actually says it'll only take 12 minutes. You see, I started it thinking, oh well, I'll get it going while the stream's not on, but it might actually start then. So I'm just gonna have it on the screen just in case. Very bright. But yeah, how is everybody? How's everybody doing? Sorry it's not a normal time. I can't do it a normal time because there is a blimmin' work party thing that I've got to go to, sadly. As I keep joking, it's the last bit of work I've got to do this year because I don't particularly want to go in any capacity. Effectively what happened is we were originally told we were going to go somewhere that was really nice and fancy, and then they changed what they were going to do from an actual meal to more of a buffet thing, and because of that we switched over to where we normally go, which I don't really like. But at that point I was too far in, and not through peer pressure, just through me thinking there's peer pressure. I was just like, well, I'm not gonna not say yes, and so I've gone. I do have everything calculated though, so that I can get home as soon as I physically can. Just because I don't want to be dealing with that, you know. But yeah, that's why I can't do it, because it effectively starts when I start my streams normally, and I'll probably get home maybe half an hour after my stream would have ended, so I can't really do it then. Luckily though, I should be able to do more streams over the next couple weeks because I'm off, but obviously, you know, Christmas being a thing, that could also come back. That can also mean that I don't do something, you know. But generally, the reason, by the way, I started is because look at this. That's pretty good. I've got 3 DPSs, 2 healers, 1 tank. I'm hoping at least one of them knows how the thing works, so I can follow them. But yeah, been playing a lot of PoE 2 over these couple weeks. Hold on a second, let me just put my Discord stuff in streamer mode so that I don't dox anybody, or you know, they send something personal and it comes up on my screen and then they're like, oh, I didn't want anyone to hear about that, and it's up live for everybody to see, kind of thing. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of PoE 2 over these past couple weeks, and I'll be honest, it's interesting seeing some of the complaints that have come out of it, because I have like differing opinions on them. Admittedly, I only played like 15, 16, maybe 17 hours, but the first complaint I've seen about it, and that is that the melee is significantly weaker than ranged, and my opinion on that is it's 100% correct. Melee has this annoying problem of, I don't think it's necessarily weaker in terms of damage, and it can take a couple more hits, but the biggest thing I've seen is that the bosses very much like to do AoE like things on the ground, so like AoE fire, or like AoE like blood splatters and stuff, or like, you know, some sort of thing that stays on the ground and you take damage over time if you stay in it, so you want to get out of it, you know, general thing. But what a lot of the bosses like to do is they like to stand in it, and you're just like, well, I'm a melee boy, I can't physically hurt you to the best of my ability while you're standing in that blimmin' like damage over time thing, and because it doesn't hurt you, you're not affected by this, and so I'm just stuck here at most, occasionally hitting them with my basic attack, you know, sorry, not basic attack, like my one ranged attack. Like, as my fighter, I have this one sort of like molten throw attack that I can do if they're standing in that, but it's not anywhere close to the damage I normally can do. And it doesn't cause all the things I want to do, like all the stuns and stuff. Whereas I've been playing a sorcerer as my sort of alt character, and the sorcerer, it's completely different. The sorcerer, you have the situation where I'm just sitting here going like, oh, some of these bosses, like they're made for fighting melee. And I think that's another thing that is probably a problem for melee, is that a lot of the enemies feel like they're made for fighting melee, but kind of get screwed when you're fighting ranged. Like I was fighting this dude, this boss, and he's this big lumbering oath guy that's got he wields like a body as his weapon. And he's got his basic slam that's not horrendous to dodge, but it's like you gotta put effort in to dodge it. And then it's got his range capabilities are, he does a slow slam on the ground and sends a wave out, or he summons a ghost into his hand and throws it at you, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I can easily dodge those. And the melee guys still have to deal with the ranged attacks. They're just closer, so they have less time to dodge. And I don't know, it does feel quite heavily weighted towards melee guys being destroyed. I think probably another reason for that is another thing that can be brought into attention is the fact that ranged and melee feel like they have a similar damage sort of like a DPS. Like they do the similar damage, right? But if I'm fighting you and I'm hitting you with my hammer and I'm doing 60% of your health, for example, because you're a basic minion, I hit you, you probably get a hit off on me, I hit you, you're dead, right? But if I'm ranged, I hit you, you're running towards me, I hit you again, you never get a hit off on me, you know? And to compensate that, you're supposed to have a lot more armor as a melee boy, or evasion, and you're supposed to be effectively more tanky in one way or another, right? But I don't feel like that's actually true, because you can become pretty tanky as a ranged combatant with your extra energy shield health and a lot of stuff just like needing a bit of strength or a bit of dexterity to allow you to get a decent amount of armor while still having the energy shield, or a decent amount of evasion while still having the energy shield. And so it doesn't feel like you've got significantly more health. For example, I was playing with a friend who's playing a mercenary. Now, mercenaries mostly dex, but they're like a ranged combatant. I'm playing a fighter, and I'm mostly armor with a tiny bit of evasion. I probably get, if I get hit 3 times, I'm probably dead from like a boss. Whereas he probably gets hit probably around 3 times, but he's ranged, so he gets to stay back and dodge stuff, you know? And I feel like that's more of a thing with the mages, because I think the mages might just have better, in some cases, DPS than the fighters. Now, I haven't played all the melee classes. I don't know how the monk is. I've only played fighter, sorcerer, and a tiny bit of the ranger. But I don't know. It feels iffy, you know? I don't know if I 100% think that the balancing is correct on it. Another one I've seen is that they say the bosses are really hard, and it might be that they're playing melee people, but I would argue they're not. I've been playing through solo as my sorcerer, and I trounce every fight. There's been a couple fights where I've had to take like 2 tries at them, maybe 3. What I mean? But that's like nothing, right? I'm gonna get rid of this. But that's nothing in the scheme of things, because in the scheme of things, like, you can repeat these fights really, really quickly. And as my fighter, most of the fights, except for the final act boss of the first act, I was trouncing as well. Like, many of them, even with the buff they get for having 2 people in your party, I was getting hit, and I was able to pretty feasibly tank the bosses. So I don't think that one, I don't think there's many, I don't agree with that one at all. I will agree with the sort of complaint I've been seeing, and a complaint I feel like I've had as well and noticed, is that all the classes, there is 6 classes, but they're kind of 6 half classes, right? Because it's like, I'm playing a fighter, and it's like, okay, what kind of weapons do you want to use? Your options are mace and shield combo, and that's it. And it's like, well, what if I want to use a different weapon? Well, you can, but it's not based around your character. All of the skills relating to that are going to be slightly further off, and so you're going to have an unoptimal, like, passive skill tree, which means effectively that you can't really use them, and so you're stuck with just mace and then mace with shield. And it feels like very much like if it was any other ARPG and it was fully made. I obviously realized that this is an early access, and I'm not just, these are complaints people are having, and they're valid complaints, and I also have these complaints, but the sort of rebuttal of, well, this is an early access, completely legitimate for this one at the very least, because we know they're coming with the other classes. But it does very much feel like, oh, cool, do you want to use it? You want to use this cool, like, build related to bleed? That's kind of just, that part of the build and all those passive trees is kind of relating to the axe, and the axe isn't out yet. You know? It's just like, oh, that's a shame. And it's the same for every other class. It's like, oh, you can use this, but you can't use this because this isn't out yet. And I think that's quite valid. I've seen a lot of people comparing it, obviously, to Diablo 4, like the other big ARPG. And I'll say this, there was a lot of things that I don't think will ever be changed in Path of Exile that I think is done better in Diablo. And what I'm sort of saying with that is, for example, customization. In Diablo, I can customize my guy and then customize my armor, whereas in Path of Exile, they just go, you can't customize your guy, it's always going to be the same. You can't be a male sorcerer, you can't be a female fighter. That's just not a thing. We've got one model for a guy, and that's it. And it is annoying. Like, that is an annoying thing that you having to deal with. Like, I, for one, would love if I could, like, customize, do a bit more customization. I don't know how much work that would take, so I understand if it was a bit too much work, so they decided to not do that. But I still would have wished to be able to have done that. I think as well, I find that there is a bit more of a breadth of abilities to use in Diablo 4, and I could be wrong here, and it could just be that I have been missing something or something, but I don't know. I feel like there's a bit more variety at the moment. I mean, that'll change once another weapons come up. I also think just generally Diablo 4 is easier to get into, and I do realize that is a huge bonus to have, right? I still get confused by that huge passive skill tree, and to a certain extent, I feel like it's only going to get worse, because every season of Path of Exile, they add a new mechanic, and they keep the old mechanic, and so it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. To the point where, like, Path of Exile 1 was so overwhelming. Never mind that, like, wall that you can hit. it's so overwhelming just in general. And that's another thing, I think. One thing that I think Diablo in general does that I don't think any other ARPG does is I've never hit the wall in Diablo 3 and 4 where like I've just been like, my build is wrong, something must be wrong with this build because I instantly die to this stuff and I can't win. I do like no damage to this guy. I've never felt like that's been a thing, which I think is a huge like feather in their cap. I've seen a lot of people talking about like, oh look at the differences between Path of Exile 2 and Diablo. Diablo's dead, you know. I think it's very deceptive because they keep using Steam charts, right? And it's like, I've played Diablo 3 and 4 so many times, I can tell you for a fact I've never used the Steam launcher. Because they have their own launcher. And so that, for one, that whole metric is completely wrong. And for two, like, sure, maybe the DLC came out relatively recently. I think it's been a couple months, but this has just come out like in the last couple weeks. There's gonna be a difference, right? So I don't know. I don't agree with that kind of statistic. I'm just glad that there is something out there that's sort of rivaling Diablo, just to keep Diablo in check. Maybe they'll actually think a bit more, and they won't make another Diablo Immortals that'll screw up everybody else. Also, another thing I've seen over the couple days is there was a load of trailers that came with the Games Award. I'm so excited about this Elden Ring one because it kind of looks like an Elden Ring game that I would potentially play. Like, I don't think I'd ever play Elden Ring or Dark Souls, any of them, because they don't feel like the kind of game I want to play. I'm not very good at... I think it's the sort of reason why I'm not really into Monster Hunter either, in the sense of like, I'm not good at pattern recognition. I'm not good at the whole quick reactions thing, but it's a different story when you make it co-op. And I know people will go, well, Monster Hunter's co-op. It is, but I vastly prefer the aesthetic of Elden Ring. And I think that is a huge thing for me. A huge thing for me. Like, I probably would never play, and it's true for all games, like I probably would never have played Rogue Trader, the CRPG, if it wasn't for the fact it had the aesthetic of Warhammer. And so I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. If it was like sort of the aesthetic, an aesthetic I didn't particularly care for, then like I don't think I would ever have looked at that. And so I don't know, the Dark Souls like paint on maybe something a bit similar to like co-op, like a co-op sort of fighting a big boss thing, I think it sounds really cool. I saw the Helldivers one. I'm a bit iffy on Helldivers. I loved Helldivers 1, but Helldivers 2, I don't know, it didn't click as much for me. I think it was because I was shit at it. Or something like that. Or maybe it's just not really my aesthetic. It's not the aesthetic thing, because it is my aesthetic, never mind. But I'm interested to see how the aliens work, and whether I just vastly prefer fighting them or something. Based on Helldivers 1, probably not, because they were actually the most annoying of the three factions. But still, it'd be interesting to see. And it'll probably get me back to play a bit. And if it doesn't wow me, it probably just disappears again, right? I saw that they are doing... What was the other thing that I saw that they were doing? Oh, I saw that they're doing Borderlands 4. And I'm very surprised about that, because I feel like Borderlands 3 was a bit of a flop. I never hear good things about it, and I can never get through it all. I think it might have been that people... I wasn't particularly infatuated by the villains, and I think that's the general opinion of everybody else as well. Like, Handsome Jack was such a good villain, and then you had like the Calypso twins or whatever they were called, and they just weren't as interesting, and it involved them effectively dealing with a load of, like, murking a lot of the main characters, just because I guess there was, they wanted to stick with the whole, hey look, the heroes are still here, but they've just gotten, like, you know, they're still out there doing stuff, but they were realizing they had like 8 or 12 people that they would have to do. But yeah, I don't know if I'm particularly looking forward to it. I don't know if I can if I got bored playing the previous iteration of your game, can I logically buy the newer version? Probably not, right? But generally, I've heard pretty good things about the actual Game Awards themselves. I didn't really watch it. I didn't see. I saw that Baldur's Gate won the community support thing, which I think is completely valid. If you are opening up your code for mods to mod, that's already a huge tick in my box. If you then are like giving loads of free updates that are major updates, like new endings, or in some cases literally new classes, subclasses, that's another tick in my box. Like, these are community support things that are going to make your like community very infatuated with you, right? And that's what Larian's been doing for ages. Larian's like the hallmark for we listen to the community kind of thing. Heck, they do that whole thing of like, hey, get the game early access, just give us like some give us some like pointers of what we should do here and here and here and stuff like that, which is, you know, properly with support. But yeah, I think that generally PoE 2 is an incredible game and definitely worth the price even to buy, even though it's going to be free eventually. But I think that some people are just weirdly... the thing is that gets me about it is some of the bosses they're complaining about, I physically don't know how they're complaining about them, because they're bosses where I've sat in front of them as a fighter, or I've sat in front of them even as a sorcerer, and just sat there and took the damage and hit them, like with my attacks, and won. You know, I've turned it into effectively a turn-based game where I hit you, then you hit me, and there's no like agency in dodging. And I've fought some of these bosses people are complaining about. Complaining about the Devourer, the first boss, and I'm just sitting there and taking hits from it. And I'm taking hits from it with my friend in a party, so that the damage has gone up. And I'm still okay with that, you know, with the occasional, like, pressing of my heel. By the way, I'm also so glad they got rid of all the different kinds of potions and just went heal and mana, because that was another thing that confused me. But yeah, I mean, generally having a load of fun with that. Had a load of fun watching the trailers that came from the Games Awards. Another thing I've had a load of fun watching, it's called Secret Level. Like half of the episodes, a little more than half of the episodes are out on Prime Video. God, that's good. And God, I wish they were longer. Like, the first one is like the D&D one. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the first one's the D&D one. And I looked at it and went, now I remember why I was really raving about them doing a second D&D movie, because goddamn is like a setting that you can do really cool things with. And there's a part in it related to a dragon. That's all I'll say. That looks absolutely badass. Absolutely badass. So yeah, I mean, I thought that one was great. And then I saw the other ones, and I actually think that in the end of the day, D&D is not one of the top secret level episodes. I think it's kind of middling. And that's as a D&D fan, because like there was the Sifu one. I think that's how you say it. Sorry, it's Sifu, but I think it's Sifu, but it might be like Sifu. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. That one was really, really good, and the sort of like the action in that was really, really, really epic. But it was so short. And it got me like really wanting to play that game, but then I remembered, like, this is the thing. A lot of these secret level episodes make me want to play the games, and then I remember what the actual game is and realize that it's not what I think it's gonna be. The episodes are making it look so awesome, but it'll just be like, oh no, this is a first-person shooter, but it looks awesome when they're doing the whole story. Like there was one where they got blimmin' like Arnold Schwarzenegger to play with the main character, and it's hilarious. And immediately after seeing that, I went, ooh, I'd love to play this game because this is hilarious. And then I remembered it was like it's New World or something, and I was like, oh no, I've tried that and I didn't like it. No, and then it's not like what they're saying there. And the Pac-Man one. The Pac-Man one, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know who commissioned them to do Pac-Man's one, because this is what I'm assuming, right? That they've commissioned, like, a bunch of people were like, hey, use our IP to make something really cool, Amazon. Because I don't think they've just, like, gained the rights and spent money to get the rights just for, like, a 30, like, tops a 20-minute episode with like 2 minutes of intro and 3 minutes of credits. So I'm assuming that it was more like, hey, we'll do this thing, commission us or something. I don't know who commissioned the Pac-Man one and didn't give them any like directions, because it's not Pac-Man. It's a blimmin' horror story. At least it feels like a horror story. I was watching it and going like, what the heck is happening here? What the... And then I watched the Armored Core one. And the Armored Core one... It's probably my favorite one. It made me really wish for an Armored Core, like, sort of like series. Because it really, really got me into that world. More so than, like, the actual game did. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. My only annoyance is that they made an Armored Core one, which means they were in talks with FromSoft, which means they could have made a Dark Souls one or an Elden Ring one, and I could have seen like a proper Elden Ring story, like following somebody, done by like an incredible studio, and that makes me sad. You know, it makes me sad that that didn't happen. But that one was probably my favorite. Close second being the Space Marine one that was just incredible. Like, they did this really good job of showing the Space Marines as what they are, which is like walking tanks. Like walking combatant tanks. So I had a message. But yeah, it's it was really, really, really good. Really, really good. And my complaints for effectively all of them is, why wasn't this longer? Why weren't they 30 minutes? Why were some of them 9 minutes? It was just such a shame. But yeah, I would highly recommend watching them because they're so short. You can go through them. You could probably take like an hour and probably watch all of them that are out at the moment. None of them I think are bad. Like even the worst one, which for me, what was the one that was the most underwhelming for me? I think the one that I wouldn't watch again is Pac-Man. And even the Pac-Man one, I would put like, in any normal series, I'd put it at like a B, like a B+. So all the rest of them are like A and higher, you know? So I honestly, I would give them I would definitely give them a look. And just sort of wait for the next couple episodes, because I remembered I was looking at it and going, there's only 8 episodes here, and I remember there being one for Spelunky, for example, and Concord, which is insane to think because Concord's no longer a thing. But I was like, these aren't all of them. So apparently all of them are coming out later, I think, or they might be out now. I'm not really sure. I looked up and saw the date of when the rest of them were coming out, and then completely forgot it. So yeah, I would highly recommend them, and I would highly recommend waiting for the rest of them and watching those as well. Well, don't wait for them, but like keep an eye out for them. Another thing I saw was that there was a new season of the Castlevania series coming out, and I'm a bit like neutral on it because in general I'm not very into. Well, no, I watched the Castlevania season, the first sort of series, the one that was set much earlier than this season is, and I really loved it. Really loved it. I couldn't complain about anything there. But I haven't gotten around to watch the newest series. I think what put me off was it felt a lot more. It felt less dark fantasy and more like, for lack of a better word, anime. Now, don't get me wrong, I love anime. I used to watch a load of it. I still catch the occasional one or two. But it's not what I was expecting from the Castlevania series. Like, there was magic and all, but it was very muted. Like, the ice wouldn't be sparkling. It would be, like, tinted slightly darker. And the fire would be bright, but it would be more, like, look destructive than look bright and sparkly. And then a lot of the things it feels like I saw in the trailer for the Nocturne series were quite bright and like very like action anime, for lack of a better word, right? And that doesn't interest me particularly. And so I'm just sort of like, you know, like it put me off trying it, right? But now that a new season's coming out, it might be worth trying to catch up. Just maybe taking some of this spare time I have now that I'm off work to watch it. It feels like it could be a good second monitor thing while I'm playing like Path of Exile or something. I'm so tempted to not go to this Christmas party. The only reason I'm not, the reason that's putting me off just saying no is because I have said no, like, I've said no, like, last minute once before, and I've said no, like I've said straight up no. Sorry, I've said no last minute twice before, and I've straight up said no at the very start once before. And I'm looking at that and going like, it'd be a bit of a dick move to do it again, especially when like the boss is bringing it up. So I'm just like, my plan is, it's a half-hour journey, or it's like a 31-minute journey according to Google Maps, and that's not accounting for it being really, really busy, which I'm gonna start driving relatively, like nearing the end of rush hour, I feel. So it's gonna be slightly busy, but if I set off, like, we're supposed to get there for 7, right? 7 is where you have the pre-drinks before dinner. And so if I set off at 6:30, with it taking half an hour to get there, assuming traffic, maybe it adds 5 minutes, 10 minutes to the whole thing. I'm like, cool. I get there, food starts 20 minutes past 7, so I've missed a fair amount of the pre-drink thing. That's fine. I won't be drinking because I'll be driving. I have our food. We have our food at like 20 minutes past 7. That goes on for like an hour. I feel like you can get through. They bring the plates relatively quickly, so I feel like an hour is enough to get through the 3 courses. Let's assume maybe it's. If we assume it's an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, then I spend like 10 minutes mingling and then I leave. Leave at 9 o'clock. And when I leave, I'm just gonna drive home, and then I can go like, oh, my holiday's finally started, right? Even though I've got today off, it doesn't feel like my Friday's finally started until I have that like party done with, because it's not really a party, because you can't really like, what's the word? You can't really like relax when your boss is there. You can't really like, I'm not really a dance person, so I'm not really gonna be doing any of that kind of stuff. So I'm just sitting there going like, you know, God, this has taken 40 minutes and it's still not done. I'm going to be waiting here an hour. Am I going to put a hard cut at it? Because I'll be honest, this isn't fun to watch. Well, I assume it's not fun to watch because it's not fun to blimmin' be in, I'll tell you that much. But I don't know what I could do, because I can't do story because I'm just at Dawn Trail. I guess I could do Hildebrand stuff, but I'm not really fussed about Hildebrand, really. And I'm very much one of those people that likes to stick to one story and not like, oh, I'll take a bit of this, and when I'm waiting for this, I'll do this, and when I'm waiting for this, I'll do this, you know? But it's taking 40 minutes, you know? That's a long time. I'm hoping the longer it takes, the higher the priority we become, and so like people who are doing like this or this will be like, oh, we gotta do this now. Which one would this be? It'd be like a raid. Yeah, it's just a raid. So people who are doing like normal raids are just like, okay, let's get some people in here. But I don't know, it might happen, it might not. I'm very sorry if this has been a bit boring. It's just me rambling, and I know I'm not very good at that. It's why I don't do a lot of just chatting streams. I repeat myself a lot when I don't have anything like actually there to talk about. I'm really looking forward to my new mic, just because I very much feel like there was a lot of background noise that I think I've mostly gotten rid of, but whenever it comes through, I'm just like, don't like that. I really don't like that. And there's also a part of me that's like, I've come to terms with what my voice sounds like to other people. But I do think to a certain extent, the quality of what I'm saying and what comes through would be a bit better. And maybe I'll catch a couple things that I'm saying when I'm not emphasizing every word, because while I'm talking right now, I'm trying to emphasize every word I say, because if I don't do that, occasionally when I'm talking, I won't miss a word out, but I will say it like under my breath while talking, and so it'll feel like my voice goes really high, and then I just sort of stop, like, I can't physically do it, but it's like if it's like I know what I'm trying to say, but it comes out as just like to most people, like a cough. And I'd very much like to just be able to sort of casually talk and having it near me instead of it being like all the way over here, I think would be much better in general. It's kind of a purchase for peace of mind, which is weirdly enough. It's a peace of mind purchase. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate this mic, and this definitely will be a mic I keep as a backup. It's entirely possible that I don't like the new mic and I just get rid of it. But I just don't feel like it's made for what I'm planning on doing. I think it's made for making a podcast, and I'm not making a podcast at the moment. Maybe I'll keep it for a podcast I plan doing. God, speaking of that kind of thing, we're getting closer and closer to the new year, which means we're getting closer and closer to me figuring out what to do in terms of New Year's resolutions. I remember last year, I don't think I ever said that I'd hit affiliate, because I didn't think I'd ever hit affiliate, and I was right, because I haven't hit affiliate this year. But I mean, I think I can reasonably put as a New Year's resolution something along the lines of like, hit 50 subscribers. Not subscribers, followers, sorry. I was being YouTube coded then. I think 50 followers is reasonable. I feel like I get one, you know, there's ups and downs, but I get one maybe once every 2 weeks. And so I think I can get that easily in the next year. I think realistically, if I keep at this, which I've got no plans of stopping at the moment, realistically, I feel like I'm going to be... I'm trying to think about this. I'm thinking not the year coming, so not 2025, but 2026. I think I can feasibly say at the end of 2026, that would be realistic for me, I feel like, to get affiliate, right? Once I hit the 3rd year mark, I think at that point I'd be like, I think that would be reasonable, because at this rate of getting followers, I think I'd have around, by the end of the 3rd year, I'd have around like 130 followers, 130 followers. And at that point, I'd like to hope that there's 1 or 2 people that are following me, not just try and sell me something, and actually care about how I'm talking and how, like, and the stuff I'm doing. That's my hope at the very least. If I keep at this, which again, as I said, I've got no plans of stopping. This is the only reason that I actually start playing games a lot of the time. If it's not this, it's a friend talking about it. I think maybe one of my I'll have to think about this because it's always been in the back of my mind, but I might consider putting one of my New Year's resolutions as potentially trying to DM something, not necessarily on stream, but as like a little thing to just see if I like it, because I do like coming up with weird lore, and I like making a lot of characters, and I like being in games of TTRPG stuff, but I don't think I've ever gone out of my way to say like, I don't know if I'm good at crafting a story. That's the thing that puts me off, right? And I could do a module, but I'm not really sure if there's any module that I'm particularly fussed to actually like try out that I haven't already watched somebody go through. Because I've watched somebody go through the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and I'm watching someone go through the Curse of Strahd at the moment, and I like the idea of Descent into Avarice, but I don't feel like I have heard mixed things about the actual module itself. I think my biggest worry is the idea that I'm gonna be like waiting there, that I'm gonna be given a decision whether the party have found a solution to something that I didn't think about, that effectively means that they logically would have seen something that I didn't think about, that screws up the whole story and like the whole twist of something, you know. And then having to adapt to that, I think would be... It would be hard for me, if I'm being honest. But then on the other hand, I can't force my friends to play something I want to play, right? So it's like, there's so many things I want to play, but obviously, like, they're not as interested in that thing because they've got their own sort of ideas and stuff, and it's like, well, if you want to play something, or if you want to experience such a thing, surely the most logical thing is to just you do it yourself. You DM it, right? So yeah, it'd be interesting. It's a possibility. I might. The problem with putting it as a New Year's resolution is I like to put New Year's resolutions on there that I know that I'm going to stick to them. Like, I'm 100% wanting this to happen. I just need to have the motivation to do it. And I'm not 100% sure I want to DM. You know, I'm not 100% sure that that's something I'm interested in doing. It's like an 80%, maybe 70% thing for me. And so I don't know. It's iffy. I'm a bit up in the air on that. In terms of other New Year's resolutions, I think one of them probably is to get off my ass and talk to my friends a bit more. Because I think a lot of the time because I'm so like used to, and I spent a lot of my childhood, in fact, arguably all of my childhood, until I was 18, effectively just whenever I get home, watching videos, turning off the world, you know, and just watching videos, playing games on my own, always on my own, that I'm always like so easy to sort of slip into that. And I'm just like, well, I'm having fun. Ooh, we did it. It only took blimmin' 50 minutes on the stream. But yeah, like, I'm having fun, but I don't remember, or I don't realize how much better it is whenever I'm playing literally anything with a friend, you know? And so being the kind of guy to actually put out the feelers of, hey, does anyone want to play X, or does anyone want to play anything at the moment, instead of just waiting for them to come to me, which is what I do. It's something I'm gonna probably put as a New Year's resolution, and honestly probably try that as soon as I'm off. Oh, come on, everyone but one person. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm doing a Yule dance, the Yule dance of luck. Please, I'm begging you, I'm begging you, I'm begging you. The fucking 2 DPSs, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, cool. We're in. Hacker voice. We're in. Game crashes. Hello. Why is this person randomly successfully extracting stuff in the party chat? That's awesome. I like that. But like, surely eventually it'll get filled and it'll... Oh, there's boats! Oh, that's awesome! Nothing living here though. Grand Piano. I feel like that Sage is going to be the hardest one. I don't think it'll be the final boss. Obviously, Derek's going to be. But I think that Sage is sneakily going to be the hardest boss. It's me and an army of cat people. I'm in our alliance. Hey! Oh, it's an angel! That's cute. I know, the vast majority are going this way, so I'm going this way.
Let us see how you fare against my servants.
But that's not nice. Calling them servants. I mean, it's just an... Okay, cool. More enemies to fight. I need to turn off every animation. You see, I'm always like... Oh! What the heck? Over this attack! I'm pretty sure I wasn't in any of those attacks. And you know what? I'm so sure that it doesn't really matter. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but I know when I really should be able to see stuff and I can't see anything.
For they who vanquished my pupil
Beauregard?
It's my pleasure to welcome you personally.
Why are there pupils of gods, by the way? It's just something they keep bringing up, but I'm just sort of like, how does that happen? How does that, like, were some of them gods before the others? It doesn't sound like that's what you're gonna be the hardest fight.
I have looked forward to this moment, children of man. The scholar shall measure your depth of knowledge.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't know what's happening. I'm so scared.
The rivers rage at my behest.
Okay, I understand that. I understand the logic there.
Not all knowledge is wisdom.
I mean, that's technically true, I guess.
At what answer will you arrive, I wonder?
Left bank. Okay. Right bank. Shit, I should have dodged those. That was my own fault. That's my own fault as well.
Ignorance be cleansed. Join me in deepest knowledge. Let flow the waters of your mind. Seek new perspectives, and you shall find new paths.
Jesus, I have no idea what's happening. I'm very, very sorry. This is not the professional stream that I don't think anyone expected. But occasionally somebody might have been coming into here and thinking it was. I'm very surprised I haven't lost. Because there was a point where I had 2 vulnerability.
Small wonder the others have exalted, sir. Oh, waters purifying, reveal their nature.
Alright.
Tis time for a test.
I do horrendous the tests.
Share with me your ruminations.
Surely this is the spot we need to go. What? Oh, I get it. 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 That one's really cool, actually. I like that.
Not all answers can be obtained through might.
Okay, geniuses. Geniuses. Oh, interesting. And so the left bank is like, hey, don't go there, because you'll get hit by that attack anyway.
The wisdom of man.
That's cool.
Let us enlighten one another.
What the fuck? What do we do? How do we do this? How are people surviving? Sure.
Well done.
I understood everything that was happening there.
Done.
Smooth sailing so far, I see.
Ooh, I want it.
Come then, mortals.
There's no way that the other samurai is in my group, right? There's no way. I didn't check.
The stones to face the navigator.
No, cool.
Come on, don't keep me waiting.
Do you have the stones to face the navigator?
Let me prepare a suitable stage for our union.
Yeah, I think I can take the navigator. Oh, I got it. Nice. Well, mermaid lady.
I'll teach you the ways of navigation.
This is going to be a go to the left one, isn't it? It's going to be like, go to the left.
Mine are the ways of the wind.
Spiral, eh? Bosh. Bash.
Can you contend with she who rules the tides?
Hey, yeah, I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but I can deal with that.
The very sea.
In hindsight, I lost my mouse. I'm not even sure if I'm in the thing.
Rise above the white cap.
Oh, dodging! Dodging? Yes, please. Okay, I kind of love this. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. You reckon I'll ever get the defensive attack on time? I don't think I will. Ow. How am I alive?
I trust you don't mind if they play too. Come, Pericos, Valios,
Thalios?
join us.
She's got snakes! She's got snakes! That's not fair! Oh!
Dance upon the waves.
I can't deal with you. I can't. I'm sorry.
That's the way, my clever serpents.
So she's Ursula, then. This is what if Ursula was kind of a good guy? Or what, I guess whatever Ursula was based off, because let's be honest, Disney didn't come up with an original idea. Oh!
Go on, my pets. Don't be shy.
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess I did get hit a lot, that's fair. Listen, Cat, I love you,
Boundless.
but I really, really need you to stop whatever you're doing.
Swim free, my pet.
Ah. But that's left. I want right. Never mind. You saw nothing. Ignore the fact I definitely died from that.
You must come together as one.
Cool.
To you to navigate the seas ahead.
I'll read that, and I'll agree with that.
After all this time, it feels strange calling to you thus.
Well, now I've got a cat who's decided that this is her spot now.
Thank you for making it this far. Not long now, till our journey together must end.
Yeah, it's a shame. You're gonna shoot us with arrows, aren't you?
I am the last of us to face you.
You're going down a bit too quick for me. You're gonna have another phase, aren't you? I mean, I expected arrows from the sky. This... Oh, he's gonna throw it that way and then it's gonna go back? Right. I get ya.
Stand firm amidst the storm.
Yeah, thought so. I understand the basics of the fight. It just involves not really giving much damage to the whole thing.
You must persevere.
Quickly hit him for as much damage as he's hitting us. Oh! Why did I get hit by that? Oh, I forgot to put my damage over time on. I wonder how much that damage over time actually helps.
Wind, guide my arrow. My bowstring dings.
Yeah, I wasn't taking a chance I went through any of them. Do you reckon if I did have any vulnerability at the moment, this would kill me? Probably, right? Oh, he makes a copy of himself that does it. I thought it was him that did it.
You can overcome this. I know you can. Arise!
Oh, phase 2? Or was it just...
Your prayers have given us strength. By fighting you, that strength shall be returned to the star.
Oh no, I'm not gonna have to press a button, am I?
Grant us our heart's desire.
Oh, god damn it, he's got all his health back.
Say not your steps.
Those who hesitate are lost.
Oh. Good to know. I reckon high up level people in this, what they'll do is the people who do have vulnerability, they just won't. They won't let them be in the tank buster thing.
I'm glad that it was you who came to us.
Here our journey ends.
Okay.
Blessings be upon you on the road ahead.
Don't know what hit me there. Oh, I made it.
May the wind ever be at your back.
No. Die. We win. No third phase. No third phase.
The sweet sorrow of parting.
No third phase.
I beg you, stay the course to the end.
No third phase. Oh, there's another part to this. We're gonna have to fight another boss.
You're back. The Omnivulus. It's suddenly transformed.
Oh,
Servants? What's the meaning of this? Those ones, I leave to you.
oh, they're just called angels. Just straight up, they are angels. Oh, I need to get in this. Thank God it gave me like 50 seconds to figure out what was happening.
It seems we're being summoned. Go, my friend. I will stay here with the others.
No, come with us! Like, we need as much help as we physically can get. Seriously, like, I don't think I can beat an angel. Never mind, like, 3 of them. Ignore all the Sin Eaters that I definitely fought in Shadowbringers. Are we gonna fight, like, actual God now? A combination of all of them. And it's just Jesus. They have a biblically accurate Jesus. I guess here? Oh no, sorry, the Angelos, not angels. Wait, were they called angels before? Or have they always been Angelos and I've just been my, like, dyslexia or something, not seeing it as... I hope it was angels for the other one, and so I don't seem like an absolute idiot. Ooh, all of them are here. My favorite is probably...
The will of the star has entrusted the future to you and yours. As entities charged with ensuring life on Aetheris, we rejoice in this outcome with all our hearts.
Oh, they have combined. They have combined into God. Eulogy. Eulogy? Is it eulogy? Or I just made that up?
'Tis time, beloved children. Time to bid farewell to we relics of the past.
Wow, they really did turn into literally everything. I wonder if the wolf appears. Did they start the fight with that? Ah, screw it. I wasn't going to help anyway. Are they going to use mechanics from all the different fights? Or are they going to just switch forms between them?
Fight with all your being.
Bit annoying that they started it without me, but whatever. I understand people are just doing this to get whatever gear for glamours or whatever. Oh, there's some people that can really take advantage of that to just constantly stay on her and do damage. I mean, that's fair enough. They're the perfect legend, so they probably can do it. Because I'm just a regular legend. Wow, that's 50% of my health. Okay, what's happening over here? Speed up! Speed up! Why do they have to fight? Wow, I unintentionally did that. Not well, but I did it. I'm not sure if they're sticking just to the abilities of the first of the groups that we fought in this, or whether they're doing all of them. Don't heal or have a second phase, please. I do? Is the one? I'm sure there's something in the background I'm not looking at that I'm supposed to use. Speed up, speed up, speed up. I really like this idea of like hit them with a load of AoEs, then put like an AoE on a specific guy. That's very technological based for a god. Kill it, kill it, kill it with fire! Why is it not dead yet? It's doing so many blimmin' effects! Oh god, it's doing this. Of course, I wasn't quick enough on it. I know there hasn't been a lot of them, but I haven't been hit by a single one of those things that they put on you. What the heck is this? Oh, it's dead. GG. Oh, I mean, GG. Or HH. That's still something, right? Heck yeah. Oh, no, I can't think of a thing. But she didn't seem as bad as the other ones. Playing combination, healer. Loot. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Agree with that. I'll agree with that. I'll pass on that. I'll pass on this. I'll pass on this. I'll pass on this. Pass on this. Pass on this. I pass on this. Cool. I don't actually care about the stuff I'm leaving. I don't even know if I got any of that stuff. Notta, are you alright? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for clearing the way, Notta. That being, I presume, is the 12? You have done well, children of man. As promised, we shall reveal the truth in its entirety. Our desire is simply thus, to give ourselves unto the star as a blessing. In the 12 millennia we have existed, we have come to harbour tremendous power through prayers. Through battle, our essence shall unravel and return to the stars, where it might give rise to new life. Such is our final gift to you. You mean you'll disappear? Yes, the fragment of our former souls, which serves as the core of our existence, shall rejoin the life stream. Yet, though we fade from sight, our individuality lost, our stabilizing influence shall endure. The only thing to change is where your prayers find their way. Henceforth it shall be this, the instrument of blessing that receives our mortal hopes, hopes that shall be given back to the star. But your presence brings comfort to mankind. Everyone would wish for you to remain. Must you truly fade away? Such gladdening things you say, child. We must confess, what we do, we also do for ourselves. When mankind overcame the final days, it so moved us that even we who are but constructs knew the greatest joy. You have shown your unfaltering love for the world. In return, we will show our undying love for you. Worry not, myths are wont to be woven and passed down. So long as man hold the 12 in fondness, we shall live on in your faith in us. Pardon me? When you say such things, sobs. Unknown, the moment of parting is come. By our blessing may you march towards a brighter future. Oh no, he'll miss you. Farewell, beloved children. Sorry, beloved. I don't know the difference between them, but there is a difference. Ah. There they are. When you are ready, brothers and sisters. May the font of ingenuity ever flow. Yours is the strength to destroy all obstacles. Abide in virtue and hold fast to the truth. There is meaning in your deeds. Celebrate life and embrace death. May you flourish and reap a bountiful harvest. I'll miss you. In your limited time, have boundless compassion. Carry yourself with honor and forge on towards victory. Harbor love in your heart, for yourself, for others, and for the world. From past to future, the river of knowledge flows. Be of its nourishing waters. May a wonderful new world greet you beyond destiny's horizon. Bit weird that when you went, honestly. Be calm as the ocean, and you shall weather any storm. As the wind blows unfettered, may you be free to follow your hearts. Ukuk! My boy! My boy! You needn't agonize so, Ocho. Remain with them, if that be your desire. But this is what we dreamed of, to return to the star together. We don't much like you. I never imagined that I would grow so fond of them. That parting would be so hard. That parting would be so hard. Long as we abide in patience to rejoin the life stream. From the drop in the river of time that is man's fleeting life. Why not share your fate with them? Follow your heart, as you ever have. And when the time comes, we shall meet again. Yay! No death! Well, except for the gods, but they kind of wanted it, so I've decided to continue journeying a while longer. Mainly just for the kid. Just for the pet. It's mainly just for the pet. Oh, she's crying. Get over here. You're as equal part to this as everyone else here. Words can't well express my surprise when I open my eyes to see Derek standing there. I'm naturally curious as to what happened, but above all, I rejoice for a dear friend returned. Do. What to say in such a moment? You say, I'm home. Best to speak from the heart, I suppose. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad. And we're glad to have you back. Glad hardly suffices to describe it. We're over the moon that you're still here, Derek, or should we call you Ochon? No, Ochon died. I no longer have Ochon's powers. Derek will do. I was remade from the portion of my essence that wasn't returned to the star, and will live out my days as a man. May I ask what happened? No sooner have the 12 vanished that you appeared before us. At the very last, I couldn't bear it. Couldn't bear to say farewell. Your earnest friendship has weighed down my steps. And this little fellow's fervent call halted them. I was overwhelmed by the keenest longing to remain among you and see more of the world I love. Upon seeing me torn, my brethren bade me follow my heart. I no longer need further urging. We created the instrument of blessing in faith that one day the stars would no longer need our guiding hand. Thanks to you, that day has finally come. Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. But I ramble. How uncharacteristic. Let us head back to Olympus, shall we? Who's gonna defend it, though? Like, it's pretty powerful. I feel like if I wanted to, I could, with enough research, transfer all the blessings into me using the machine. Hypothetically. Hypothetically. Do do do. Do 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 do. Well, we must return to Charlian. The Forum will be expecting a report. The gods are dead. Yet if the entire truth were to be revealed to the public, it would shake the very foundations of the worship of the 12. Aye, in penning our report, we would do well to consult the Forum on what details are safe to disclose. Much pertaining to the field of mythology will need to be obfuscated, I fear. Worry not on my account. Inspired by our findings, I have a mind to examine the 12 in the context of reception theory. The people's perception of deities are wont to be informed by their culture. By comparing the differences across eras and regions, I believe we may uncover heretofore unseen aspects to the 12. Reception theory, you say? Most intriguing. I should like to see the fruits of your research when I visit Charlian. Surely you know all the knowledge. When you do, have care to not reveal who you used to be. Our scholars would be all over you like starved beasts. I see, but perhaps I shall wait a while before I come calling. Before I came to you, I simply roamed the world. I had no objective, nothing I wished to find. With this second chance I have, I mean to undertake my travels with a renewed perspective. But ere I set out... What's that? Is that... I would move my brethren's hopes elsewhere, to a place in men's midst. Oh, what a wonderful idea. If you don't mind, we should like to accompany you. By all means, we make for the Sanctum of the 12 in the East Shroud. I wondered what the middle bit was going to be. It felt weird that nothing was happening with it, but I kind of love the idea that we came back to the hub to then go over there. There. That's kind of a cool thing. I don't think I've seen before. I'm sure it's happened before, but I don't remember it. Oh, it's a polar bear. It's not the climate for a polar bear. Then again, it's not exactly the right track for a car either. This doesn't look like the Sanctum of the 12. This just looked like a place. Doo-doo. Oh, yeah. That's pretty sanctimous. Sanctimous. Have I never been here? I must have been here. It must have been in like Realm Reborn though. No matter how many times I visit the Sanctum, its majesty never fails to move me. It's a pretty good Sanctum. The rich history. Originally built during the dawn of the fifth astral era, it was reclaimed by the wood before being restored in the wake of the calamity. Truly it stands as a testament to the influence the magical civilization city-states have upon Aurosian culture. This sanctum harbours the hope of men, and now those of my brethren shall join them. If you are not averse, I would speak a little on my brethren, that is, those individuals whose essence lent them form. As it pertains to another age, some concepts may be foreign to you, but would you be interested nonetheless? Of course. Sounds interesting. Is it going to be like modern Earth? Excellent. He's not going anywhere. You don't need to stay so close to him. Oh, perfect. There's a pedestal as well. Oh. Are they going to glow now? No. Okay. Oh, well, kind of. Doo-doo. Bygart was a man with a gift for creating inanimate objects such as building and furnishing. With his abilities, he served a supervisory role on the Bureau of Architecture, where he was nothing short of a pillar. His chief was careful. He was carefree to a fault, you see, and he took it upon himself to ensure the work was done. Roger was a brawly man whom Venet encountered on her travels. They quickly struck up a friendship, and he joined her on a quest to destroy an enormous meteor that was hurling towards the star. It's fair to say this event gave rise to the legend surrounding the destroyer. Azima was a woman who served as a judicial officer in the Bureau of Administration, an experience which served her well as the warden. She was an ardent progenitor of the seat of Azim, and dreamed of training under Venat and her successor. Nethala was a close personal friend of mine. A merchant by trade, he was outwardly gregarious, but also possessed a reserved side, and knew quiet joy in his passion for awe. When man began treating him as a dual-aspect god, it reminded me of the person he used to be, and I couldn't help but be struck with a pang of nostalgia. Nothika was a landscape architect of great repute who grew plants gathered from the stars over. Despite being skilled in magic, she preferred to nurture nature plants as nature intended, and her garden ever bloomed with beautiful flowers. All who visits were said to leave with their souls salved. Athika was a researcher who observed newly made creations in Elpis? Although it was her sister's urging that he first joined our faction, he soon became a stalwart believer in the cause and always took the initiative in discussions. Alone was a formidable warrior tasked with hunting creations that were deemed detrimental to the star. For her prowess, she had been regarded as a leading candidate for the seat of Pashtrot, preserver of discipline and order. Menfilia was a the youngest among us, a student affiliated with the Word of La Brea at the Academia Anyadar. And even within the prestigious institute, she was considered a prodigy, and hers were the hands that created the magic to isolate and seal Zodiac. Dalek was the headmaster at that place, a man of learning and leadership both. He presided over the institute's myriad facilities. No known phenomena exist in which he wasn't versed. Word did not do justice to express the remarkable scholar he was. Naira was unobservant, Elpis, like her older brother, Athuk. She possessed a caring and inquisitive nature, and was liked and trusted by her peers. Limeline was a researcher at, I'm not saying that, a facility for the observation and evaluation of sea life. So passionate was she about her work, she once threw a knife at someone who inadvertently came too close to her observation subject. Pochon was a traveller who Venette encountered in the wilderness. They shared a campfire and discussed at length what it meant to be free. Leaving my hope as the wanderer in this place, I shall venture forth anew as a simple man named Derek. And last but not least, the Watcher. He was the chief archivist at that place, and respected Venat deeply as an individual, even as he cared for her as a dear friend. Indeed, among our numbers, none were more devoted to the Venat, and that devotion made him best suited to his duty in the solitude that accompanied it. That is all. There's a lot to remember, but I should be glad if they remain within you in some way. We're grateful that you should share with us these new aspects of Heidelin the 12. Thank you. Well, 'tis past time we headed back to Charlia. It wouldn't do to keep our tracker waiting. I assume you will be traveling via Limsa Luminsa? In which case, allow me to see you off from there. Till now I have wandered alone, but I have recently learned a journey is better shared. Which is weird, because you probably went on a couple journeys with Renat. Are they all going to be, like, appearing as ghosts as watchers? No? Okay. So I might have seen them when I went back in time with the whole Shadowbringers thing, right? I could have been there. Like, I think there's a chance. I wonder if I went back there if I'd see anyone called, like... No, people would have known who this was if they were named. Their actual names. I like how casual he was like, yeah, he helped destroy a meteor. Do 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 do. This has been nice. I wish there weren't like 40 minutes in between me trying to get the raid to go and it actually going. But I think the general story's been quite interesting. I just... it's a personal thing. I kind of just wish all of them would have stayed. Lived a life as a human and then disappeared. Our friends are presently booking their passage. That's where you are. There's a room aboard the next ship, so we'll be setting sail shortly. Oh, Derek, no sooner did we arrive in a crowded place that you up and disappeared. Ah, 'tis a force of habit in order to avoid people. But I needn't do so anymore, do I? On the contrary, I should embrace the chance to connect with other souls. I don't know, I'd still instinctively do it as well. As your comrades, we completely agree. And remember, you're always welcome at the Balsalian Annex, so to be sure to pay a visit. You may depend on it. Thank you, Derek, for giving us your trust. And thank you as well, Notta. Had you not been with us, we would have struggled to grant the 12 their wish. Well, we best find our vessel. While the reports remain to be compiled, I believe we can officially declare our investigation complete. Till next we meet, my friends. I've got a feeling I'll be meeting you in Dawn Trail. Bearing in mind the trailer literally has you using the Pictomancer class. Bye! Have fun! I don't think I'll see you in Dawn Trail if I had to guess. My guess? We won't see Thancred either. There's a chance. Do you still have time, Notta? Of course. I'm not doing anything. Here I am, embark on my journey. There is a place nearby I would like to visit. Might I ask you to accompany me? Sure. I ain't got nowhere to be. Thank you. Come, we shall head outside the city via the Tempest Gate. He's got to have like a little bit of his power, right? Tiny bit of his power? Like, I know he says he's got none of it, but you've got to assume that there's like a tiny bit of it still left just to keep him safe. It would be a bit bad if he just randomly died just to like a bandit or something. I guess he's human, so he could learn how to use a bow still. Here the wind whips in from the sea like a storm, but I've always found the sensation quite invigorating. Lest you wonder, I intend to strike west and then make my way through Upper and Outer Lanencia. And in order to mark my new journey as a man en route, I wish to see Ochion's embrace with you. You need only accompany me across the bridge. For then I shall continue on my own. You sure you don't want me to bring my cool car? No? Yeah, that's fair. Do-do-do. I forgot that all of these things were named after the gods. Such a great wave that was that ripped the god's grip from the mainland. In the wake of the calamity, my brethren and I were all occupied with our respective duties. This is my very first time seeing this bridge. Shall we then? Try not to fall behind. It's always quite impressive to behold. Is something going to happen that means, is he suddenly going to speed up? So it's temporarily constructed with wood. Ah, such an invigorating breeze. Ook. Ook. Oh, Aetherius. Your beauty truly knows no bounds. Forgive me, I was lost in thought. I look forward to this bridge's completion. I mean, it may not literally be in your new lifetime. Bridges take a while, and there's other stuff to deal with. It is a fine bridge, boasting splendid views and brimming with life. The very image of a man's determination to overcome adversity. I am honoured that it should be named Ochion. Well, this is as far as I asked you to come. But if you're willing, might we converse a little more? It occurs to me I haven't asked you about your opinion on the 12. How you personally perceive us, for instance, or what you felt when you faced us. Your words from the heart I would take with me as a memento. Oh, there wasn't an option to click. Yeah, I thought they were cool in the beginning. I thought they were just primals. I still kind of feel like they are just primals, but still. Like, primals maybe done not the evil way, you know? Is that so? The others will be glad to hear that. Thank you for humouring me, and I apologise for keeping you so long. I literally saved the world. I've got nothing else to do. There's nothing big happening. I've gone into the 13th. The 13th is going to be less of a problem. I'm ready to set forth now to witness a world filled with our blessing. You know, for all the good that you could have made, you could also have made a load of evil. It's a shame. To begin with, I shall tour Lanuncia and visit their locals, which are named after the 12. After which, I shall go wherever the wind blows. Together with this fellow, of course, until such time as he tires of my company. This time I shall embrace the joy of meeting and accept the sorrow of parting. And when the time comes for me to return to the star, I shall share my experiences with my brethren. Needless to say, your words will feature prominently in my recounting. You could have stayed on the shoulder. That's going to be hard to just be like that the whole time. That's quite heavy. Like, I don't know how heavy a baby monkey is, but I imagine it's pretty significant. It's like holding a shield. Like, that's scary. You will continue your own journey, will you not? Of course. Then I shall look out for you there. Fare you well, my friend, and may the 12 bless you and keep you. Hey, you didn't even carry him the whole time. Just saying goodbye to a god-made man? Not a god-made man, but a god turned into a man. You know what I meant. Myths of the Realm. You can't see that, but it says Myths of the Realm. I could move this, but I can't be asked. Can't be asked. It says Myths of the Realm. It's fancy writing. You saw half of the writing. Oh? Hinting at villain? Or just black screen? Okay, just black screen. What does this say? 12 Blessings Farmer Kit. Ooh, a farming kit. Do, 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 do. Click. By completing the quest, Soaring Profits, the painting of the 12 will become available for purchase. Good to know. Probably will never do that, but good to know. Now, we'll do this. And now we'll look at the equipment we just... Let's look at my character. Let's upgrade to the better equipment. Okay, they look cool. They look cool. We're keeping them. It fits the group, actually. Do, 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 do. Well, that's actually perfectly on time because it just hit 2 hours. So, I hope everyone had some fun with this. Next time you see me, we'll probably be doing Dawn Trail. We'll actually have made it to Dawn Trail. assuming there's no requirements for other stuff I have to do. I don't think there is, but I'll double check. I won't double check. I'll just get on the stream. I'll just click on them and it'll say I'll need to do something, and I'll go do it. But until then, I hope everyone has a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. I'll see you on Monday for more chilling out and just, you know, talking about the week. I'll see you on Wednesday for some more Baldur's Gate, and I'll see you on Friday for more Final Fantasy 14. But until then, bye. I actually might do more streams than that, but I'll keep you up to date on the Twitter and the Blue Sky.